Hello everyone, Lucas here. Today I'm going to talk about how to make a simple camera system for Godot 4. The code is greatly inspired by Selgizel's tutorial on making a controllable camera, but since it was made in Godot 3, there is some elements that differs from this tutorial. He also has a video on migrating his project to Godot 4, so don't forget to check out his channel. I have created a simple project with a test scene and a character controller. It uses the default script proposed by the engine, so we don't have to make one, since it's not really the purpose of this video, and it does already things pretty well. Available under this video is a GitHub repository containing 2 Godot projects, one with everything to follow along, and the result. First of all, we're going to create a new scene with a root node of type Node3D and call it Controllable Camera. Next, add 2 Node3D children that you'll call Gimbal H and Gimbal V, like shown in the scene tree. Next step is to add a spring arm 3D and finally the camera 3D. Now we can create a script on the controllable camera node. We're going to start by setting some variables. First, we export some variables, which are going to be the parameters to control your camera from the editor later. Next, we have a bunch of onReady variables here to reference some of the nodes. And then there's 3 variables that we're going to use later. We're going to stray from the code a bit, and in your scene tree, select your spring arm 3D node. On the inspector tab, we will set the shape to a sphere shape, and set the radius to 0.2. I'm going to set the spring length to 6, and the margin to 0.5. You can play with these values later, but I find them quite good. Something I forgot to say is that this spring arm 3D node is going to prevent the camera from clipping into the ground or into walls. I also recommend renaming your collision mask layer by either right-clicking on a layer and doing rename layer, or by going into Project, Project Settings, Layer Names, 3D Physics. I choose layer 1 for environment and layer 2 for player. Back in the code, starting with the ready function. Here, we're setting the spring arm 3D spring length value to the distance value we exposed earlier, and we capture the mouse. We then use the input function and add these lines. The first part is going to help us enabling and disabling the capture of the mouse. The second half is converting the mouse movement into rotation while also clamping, meaning adding value constraints to the vertical rotation. In physics process, we are now doing linear interpolations. The first one is for the spring arm limbs, making it useful if you decide to create a zoom, because it will help you doing a smooth transition. And then we rotate the 2 gimbals on their respective axes. Add class name controllable camera under extends Node3D, and then we are done here. In our player scene, we can now add a Node3D that you will push up a little bit. As a child, add our newly created controllable camera. Press F5 or the Run Project button, and then voila! We now have a camera that you can move around with your mouse. But you will notice that our character isn't moving in the direction you're looking with the camera, which can be pretty annoying. To fix this, let's go into our character code. As you can see, we use the class name we defined earlier to make sure we don't select another node by mistake in the inspector. In this part of the code, we will replace the current input code by this. To make our character mesh smoothly face the correct direction, we can add this piece of code inside the if statement. Great! We can control our camera, move around, and our character is moving in the right direction. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.